is it really the will of God? Because if you start your marriage on the wrong note, it won't work.
True.
Let me tell you, even if you are 50 years, even if you are 30, even if you are 48, don't give up. God will still come.
Yeah.
Imagine it is the will of God for everybody to have a partner. So just stay pure, wait upon God, and stop misusing yourself. In the name, you are looking for the best man or for the best woman.
Hello everyone, munaendeleaje? Mimi niko salama kabisa, and I hope you're doing well. Of course, when it comes to decoding the process, I hope your relationships are doing well, because anyone who is here has knowledge and does it right. Thank you for joining us today, and of course for being a part of this show every Tuesday. Today we have an amazing topic for you. Dating has changed over time. And I know we all want to know and understand, how do we get to adjust with the changes that come with dating from time to time, from generation to generation, and we want to see the difference in that. But before we get there, I want to introduce my wonderful guest. Karibu sana. I'm so glad to have you here today.
Asante sana.
Yes, you can tell us your name and more about yourself.
I want to say hi to everybody who is watching us today in the Wema Tv. My name is Reverend Jane. I'm born again. I fellowship with Bethel Gospel Assembly under the leadership of Bishop Geoffrey Gishoke. Tuko pale Juja. I'm a parent. I'm a mother of. Of course, I have teenagers, and I'm also a counselor professionally. And I thank God that today we are talking about dating. Which is, it was started by God, because we date to get married. So it's a wonderful show. I hope all of us will enjoy and learn something at the end of the topic.
Wow, that's
Yes,
amazing.
yes.
She's a woman full of so many crowns, and I know today we are going to learn so much. So karibu sana, Madam Jane. We want to talk about the evolving of how dating has grown from time to time. Of course, people used to do it differently, and now people are doing it differently. How are we able to really grow from what has been to what has come? And of course, before we get there, I want us to basically talk about what dating really is and the stages that people are able to grow from, you know, I just know you, and to begin now thinking of relationships. What are those levels of dating?
Oh, okay. Dating basically is a process of people who are in love, romantic engagement, in preparedness to marriage. So you cannot wake up today and get married. So the process from the time you see each other, you move and proceed to get married. But it's not a must. In between, it can work, it can fail to work. That's why we usually say encourage dating. It is very important. So dating, we can say it's a process of, it's a romantic process, because I usually have meetings with several men. We are not having the meeting so that we can get married. But the difference between dating and other meetings is that dating is a romantic engagement. You are in love. It's like you are in love. So, but you want to be sure whether it is going to work so that you can go to marriage. Now, dating is a process. As I have started saying, it's a process. Because when you wake up today, it starts with the seeing. The first process is, I don't know whether you are married.
I am.
If you are that, I thank God for that. I want to believe that the time you met your husband, the first thing, he saw you and you saw him. And that was the first thing. Then from there, maybe he said, hi, I want to buy you a cup of tea. And then you said yes. And you know, the first sight means a lot. Actually, if he tells you, I want to buy you a cup of tea, If you are not interested, you tell him no.
Yes, of
I'm
course.
not available.
Yes, yes. I'm busy.
But I'm busy.
Yeah.
But you know, if you felt something, you know, the 6%,
Yes.
if you felt something that I think I feel something towards this man.
Yeah.
That is the time you say, oh, well, I'm available. But you don't want to show him that you are very cheap also.
Yes,
that I'm available tomorrow.
Yeah,
You
very
tell
true.
him, maybe I'll give you a date.
Yeah.
But inside you, you are like, you're not even sleeping well. You are
You can't wait.
asking, you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
wait for this cup of tea. During our time, because I think it has evolved so much, we used to tell the brothers, si unajua tulikuwa tunawaita brother.
Yes.
Tulikuwa tunawaambia, we used to tell them, you know, he could have come and tell you, no, I have fallen in love. And during our time, it was not I have fallen in love. You know, even others used to fake it.
Yeah.
You know, my sister, I was dreaming. I saw you somewhere. It was raining. I came with an umbrella.
The Lord spoke to me in a dream.
In a dream. And I used to make this joke. When you come and tell me all those stories,
Yeah.
that was my first test. To me, it was a no. Because marriage is not the issue of an umbrella and all the what, I was shown. It was an issue of telling me, Jane, I love you.
Yes.
I feel I love you. And I want to marry you. And I told God, the time I'll be getting married, I need a candid guy. I need a sincere person. And that is exactly what happened.
Wow.
When my husband came the first time, he told me, Jane, I am in love with you and I want to marry you. Wow. It was that simple. So during these days now, it has really changed. Because in the first place, it is also good as a Christian to seek the will of God. And that is where I think most of the young people, they are going wrong. Yeah. It is good to seek the will of God, whether Geoffrey, who has proposed to me, Geoffrey is my husband, is it really the will of God? Yeah. Because if you start your marriage on the wrong note, it won't work. True. So the first thing I have said, you see each other, then you plan for a cup of tea. Then from there, when you plan for a cup of tea, it is good for you to know each other. Yes. Who are you? Where do you come from? Where do you stay? As simple as that. Thank you for meeting you. Yeah. Now, the third stage is the very deep stage. When you feel now, because these two stages, this is the time you feel now, I think there is a chemistry with him. So I think I need to know more about him. I think there is somewhere this relationship is going. So when you meet for the third session, this is very deep. This is now the time you start asking about age. How old are you? How old are you? About your faith, about your parents, your background. So you go a bit deep, because you know you cannot marry a stranger. True. I'm shocked. Sometimes people come for counseling, and you ask this person, for how long did you date? They tell you 2 years. And this person, even after 2 years, they cannot tell you where the guy went to school. Because, you know, those people...
They literally don't have a detail of their life.
You know it's not right. Yes. Because you need to know, where did my husband go to primary school? True. Where did he go to secondary school? If he did, did he join university? When did he give his life to Christ? You know those issues that we assume. Yes. So that is a time now you ask very, very deep questions. And actually, that is where most relationships end or they move on. Yeah. When you climb from that stage, I think now the dating is going somewhere. But you see these days, I'm surprised that you get a guy today.
Tomorrow they are planning a wedding. They're going on. And so of course, you've heard those stories that in 2 months, I met her 2 months and we were married. I mean, what do you talk about? What can you say about such kind of relationships? Because they are very, very many nowadays. You meet today, like you've said, there's a process. Yes. But so many young people meet today, and before they even officiate the relationship, they're already dating, actually by function of the relationship they have. So basically, I have heard from what you're saying that you can't skip
The stages,
the stages, and basically that you can't rush it. You have to have a certain level of planning and really getting to a place.
It's a process.
And a process.
Now,
So, yeah.
the third one, that is the third. The fourth one now, this is now, after now you have evaluated your partner, that this guy is born again. I'm talking about now the Christian marriage. This guy, I think I wanted a man, at least who has gone to school, he is okay. You have a checklist. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Maybe, and that is also where people make a lot of mistake. Maybe you have just met a good man, and you are maybe or a good lady, and you have been saying, I want to get a man who at least is, this man is educated. And then because of the emotions, you ignore all those things.
Yeah.
When you get in this marriage, issues will come out.
True.
Because you feel now you have married a person who is not learned,
Yes.
he's not understanding you. You have a master's degree.
And they begin to look like a stranger.
Are you getting it?
You don't know
You have
them.
a master's degree. When you are going home, you are discussing things with issues with him. Is like off the cut. So this is where now, after now you move from that stage. This is now you realize now. I think you cannot get a perfect person, but you feel my heart is okay. I think I can now move to the next stage. This is now where you involve now the parents. And he tells you, I'm serious, I want to marry you. This is now the time you involve your parents, and you tell him, oh, mommy, I have met a gentleman, I have met this and this. Mind you, this is even before you involve your pastor.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? When you involve your parents, go introduce him home, go introduce him, the guy to introduce you home, and vice versa. After that, of course, the parents are not to decide for you who to marry. But remember, your parents also have another eye that you cannot be able to. So they'll tell you, oh, have you? And a serious parent will ask you, have you known this man? I remember when I took my husband home, my mom asked me, do you know this man? Or it is you go and get somebody's husband, you start issues. Are you getting it? So a serious parent will play also a very big role. And will ask you, oh, who is he? Imagine your mom asking you or your daddy, who is he? You start saying, oh, I don't know. You know, they realize, I think our daughter here, something is not right. Then after that, you involve the parents, you see they are now okay, you're also taking your time. It's not today, tomorrow. That is now where you involve your pastor, and you go to them, both of you.
Yeah.
Maybe you are from different churches. He takes you to his pastor. Also, you take him to your pastor, and you tell him this is what is happening. Then from there, by the will of God, you start planning for the marriage. And if you follow those processes, I think most marriages will work.
I think there's something I've heard you say, because I think people really don't do that. So it's important to start with your parents before you go to the pastor, because many people start the other way around, because they feel, especially because young people nowadays are fellowshipping away from their parents. I'm already maybe a grown up, I moved out. So I feel like my parents are my pastors, and then they begin introducing first in the church before they go home. Actually, people do home as the last thing nowadays. What do you say about that?
Let me tell you. We always say, okay, a pastor is I'm a pastor. And they play a very big role in our families, in our marriages, in all our sectors. Why I'm saying first, you take your man to your parents. You know, at the end of the day, I have said your parents have another eye. And if you realize a pastor telling you to avoid home, something is not right. Because that is where you get your blessings. As much as you are getting blessings from your pastor, when you take your partner at home, your parents will tell you, now from here, can we plan to go for, like in our language, you call it odhoni, to take the mali, ile inasemekananga ni mali, tupeleke mali, but the dowry, that is. But you see, you cannot go and tell your pastor you want to get married. He tells you to go and take the dowry. Are you getting it? So I think it is good to know those processes. Then from there, suppose you take your partner to your parents, And then you already, let me give you a very funny examples because they are there. You go and realize, what? You know, like now in Kikuyu, there are those, maybe it is called the family lineage. Oh, and then your mom or your daddy tells you, but you see, this is your relative. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
After we have done our investigation, I think this man is your relative. And you cannot be married to your relative.
Yeah.
And you already informed your pastor. So it is good to clear first with the home,
Yes.
the home setup. Then from there, you go tell your pastor, we have blessings from our parents, that's why we are coming.
Yes.
Then from there, the pastor's work is to take you now the other process of getting married.
Yes, because actually the family can be a very big obstacle. They are
Exactly,
the key
yes.
stakeholders in this thing.
Yes.
Something that will not allow things to go through, to go ahead from the family setup,
Yes.
will prevent it. No
It
one
is true.
else. So I feel it's important to start there so that you can really see how things should go. I mean, time is really running off. And because of time, I want us to really say what has been the difference between how dating has been and how it is right now, and how can young people, adjust to what is happening.
Yes. I said that if you read the book of Genesis 2:18, the Bible says, it is not good for a man to live alone. So it was ordained by God. Now, during the old days, it was a good one. The old days. You see, these days, you meet with a person through Fusasa or through Facebook, and then you start, come, we stay. That's why you realize, I'm telling you, I'm a counselor, and I'm telling you, marriages are going through a lot of stress. So, when you miss a process in life, when your child is born, what usually starts? There is no child who can be born today and then he start walking tomorrow.
Yeah.
You cannot be born today and then you get married tomorrow. It was only applicable to Vasco da Gama. Alikuwa naitwa nani? There is one, tulikuwa tunamsoma kwa kitabu. Ati alizaliwa leo, akafa. It was just, I think it was just.
The one was born and died on Sunday,
yes,
from Monday to Sunday.
One week.
Only to that person, I believe as well.
So life is a process.
Yes.
And if you jump one process to the other, the marriage will have issues. So during old time religion, that is our time. Actually, even before a guy introduced, even coming to tell you that I love you, actually they used to go to church and tell the pastor that I want to marry so and so. Please, can we have that permission? It was that serious. And then the elders of the church could tell you, yeah, it is good. Please, let's know that girl.
So they actually go when they want to marry, not to date, or at what
To
stage?
date.
Or to date.
Not even date. This
To
man
have a
cannot
friendship.
make up. Because if the elder of the church could realize that a girl and a boy is, a man and a woman is walking together, and they are born again, actually that was a reason for you to be excommunicated from the church. So they used it used that it is a must that you have a third party. When you go for that dating, there is somebody seated at the corner. And they used to encourage that you should also, when you go and sit there, it should be an open place. Because whether we like it or not, we have body and flesh. The flesh and blood, but the flesh and the blood.
Yes.
So our body have emotions. And these people are in love. So when you come and hide yourself in a certain room that you know we are born again, we are dating, the other things will be history. So during that time, you go somewhere with a third party, then you talk. Then from that time, it is the difference between dating today. These days, you also realize girls are also requesting men or to marry them.
Pursuing men.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
Pursuing men. That please, and with those suggestions, it is very unfortunate because it is supposed to be a man who is going to approach this woman. I want to marry you. Are you getting it? Then from there, even these women these days, they have become so, you could not meet with a man sexually before marriage.
True.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
It was that serious. You cannot even kiss. You cannot even hug.
And nowadays, it is a norm. I mean, even before you start dating, you can hug anyone.
Actually, there is a girl who came for counseling in my office, and she was telling me now, I want to sleep with my boyfriend. Why? Everybody is telling me they're having sex. It's only me. At being a virgin these days is like, you are crazy.
Until virgins can't say they are. Even people who are virgins actually say they aren't.
Are you getting it?
Society
It is like, you are crazy. Yes. What are you talking about? So it becomes very tricky. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, as we conclude, I want to talk to young girls. Moving with 1, 2, 3 men, it just put your integrity down. It is always good when you are growing. Our parents were telling us it is good to put your dress. You put your dress ugonge go kikalia, and it used to have a lot of meaning that you are not supposed to undress to every man that you meet on the way. Do you know, the more you sleep with men, the more your self-esteem goes down. That is psychology. Because you feel misused. You know, if you have a relationship with a man, you are dating, and then you have not given in, anyway you feel it for a very short time, then you feel, but at the end of the day, I have not given in. So it won't be very painful. So I want to encourage young men and women. It is good to stay until you get married. So that's a phenomenon that they are not understanding these days. But I want to tell you, it works very well. Your partner will respect you, and he'll feel, or she will feel, that this man is somebody that had kept him or herself tight until the wedding day.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, the way I'm looking at her trying to talk here, I feel like the words are fresh, and they are deep, and they are worth taking in. I mean, she's talked a lot. Dating, yes, has evolved in the how, but there are things that should never evolve. The fact that people should actually remain pure, should respect one another, should respect the protocols of involving their parents, involving the church and everything, those things do not change. They remain the same. Only the house, because right now we can even date from social media, and of course it works. Of course, following the right steps as well, it will work. So I love what you're saying. So in just 1 minute, probably you can give a summary and just tell us the one main thing you can talk to the generation right now and how they are dating and how you would advise them to do it.
So one of the things that people should carry home, don't marry, don't date to marry. Don't date to marry, but marry to date. Are you getting it?
Talk more. I want to know more about that.
Because when you date to marry, it will come to an end. But when you marry to date, it is like every day in your marriage, you are dating. And it will work very well.
I like that.
To the generations that we are having today, or this generation that I have a very big passion for the young people. Because I understand what is to live in a pure life, waiting upon God. Let me tell you, even if you are 50 years, even if you are 30, even if you are 48, don't give up. God will still come. Imagine it is the will of God for everybody to have a partner. So don't get yourself miserable. And even if you made a mistake, that you have a child, because that is most of the women, they feel so desperate. You know me, I went astray. Do you know there is a man somewhere who is praying God to give him a wife with 1 child, with 2 children, with 3, with 4. So there is no vacuum when it comes to God, and God will provide every person who needs a husband, who needs a wife. So just stay pure, wait upon God, and stop misusing yourself. In the name, you are looking for the best man or for the best woman. Preserve yourself for that. I usually tell young people, marriage is like a gift. You know the way I can bring you a gift. You know, you'll be if I bring you, I give you 2 gifts. One is open, that this is a pen, and another one is closed. You'll be very excited, anxious What is here closed?
Yes.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
What is this? I didn't want to open it. That is what usually happens when you close yourself. This man will be asking himself, when will I get this girl? But sasa when you are there, every time is my dress up, he'll not have any interest.
Yeah.
After all, I have known you. So what am I interested in? So close that gift until your wedding day.
Wow.
Yes.
I will not add anything more. I will not. If I'm married and I'm challenged, how about you single people? You should be challenged 100 times. I mean, she has said it with a lot of passion because she knows how much it is important for us to do that. She is on the other side of the bridge and she knows the importance. And I can tell you, listen and listen carefully. I'm so glad you were able to join us today, and thank you very much, Madam Jane. And she's a pastor, and we're glad to be honored by your presence in this place. Thank you very much as well, our viewer, for joining us today. Of course, you have been a great audience to us, and thank you, because we not only want you to listen, but that this might be an impact in your life and you will decide to live the right way. And even as we've said, as dating has evolved, you remain in Christ doing the right thing. Be blessed, and of course, have a good evening. We love you all, guys.